It's Friday. It's a new episode of The Mandalorian is out, and you are watching We Have the High Ground, the Star Wars show on the Pop Culture Universe YouTube channel. And I'm going to be your host today, Colin. Joining me as always is my boy Bogz. How's it going, man?
Yes, good to be back. Thank you everyone for watching our inaugural episode of The Mandalorian. So yeah, can't wait to break this one down and to introduce a very special guest for this week.
We do have a very special guest joining us. Another member of the PCU Army is all the way down from Miami, Wade County down there. Is Soul. How are you doing today?
Hello, everyone. I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Well, just watched some new Mandalorian, so life
Exactly.
couldn't be better. I'm not gonna lie, life's pretty great right now.
True.
How are you, first of all, and what is give the people a little bit about your Star Wars story. See what I did?
Nice. I was born in 1994, so I was a child of the prequel era. I mean, not the prequel era. There we go. And so I did not actually see the first one in theaters, Phantom Menace. I saw Attack of the Clones first, but then I went home and Phantom Menace was on TV. So it was very much of I saw both on the same day. But it's funny how that happened. That actually also happened to me with Harry Potter too. I saw the second Harry Potter movie in theater, went home, and the first one was on TV. So it's funny that happened twice to me. Because I have love for Attack of the Clones, even though I know it's not a great movie. And like Padme and Leia are my favorite.
Yeah, I saw it 11 times in theaters. Okay.
Yeah, you're in a safe place here.
You're in a safe place. You don't have to defend yourself.
Yeah.
This is not a place you have to defend yourself. Like, please just. What's your favorite Star Wars? Like if you had to choose one thing of Star Wars to watch or read, what's that one thing?
If it's movies, it's between Empire is probably my favorite, but I actually really love The Last Jedi. Like I have so
You're
much
very
love
much in a
for
safe
that movie.
space. This is a very safe space for that kind of opinion.
Because but if we're gonna go with the books, probably Bloodlines.
Lots of politics in that. I'd love to see
Yes.
that as be like a really good like Aaron Sorkin
Oh,
drama.
yeah,
Just have him it's just like spits back going back and forth like, oh no, you're Darth Vader's daughter. She's like, whoa, with lots of walk and talk. Yeah, but you've been joining us. We've been a part of the PCU for the last couple weeks now, and so it's nice to get you on here. We'll have you on every other week to break down The Mandalorian with us. Bogz, so why don't you just go ahead and take us down to the Jedi archives and walk us through the basic plot points of season 2, episode 2.
Sure. So we basically start off straight continuation from the first episode. So he's literally, the Mandalorian literally got the gunk off him from the Krayt Dragon. Still, obviously through the desert, he gets kind of ambushed. Then they kind of find a way back to the Razor Crest, and then they get told they have to kind of take someone or something back to another planet elsewhere to find other Mandalorians. They bump into some kind of Dave Filoni, basically. I was going to say X-Wing pilots. I was going to say, the kind of Republic, but they bump into Dave Filoni, right? And and then they kind of crash land on another planet, which kind of a lot of rumors and links where that was kind of Ilum and this kind of thing. Obviously, didn't turn out that way. And then there's another kind of monster that seems to appear. Same thing happened in the second episode as well last season, where we first see Baby Yoda kind of use the Force. Another kind of monster themed episode, which was some kind of like weird spider creature, and we learn more about the kind of guests that they have along with them. And they kind of get off and the adventure continues. So bit of a side mission, I'd say. We haven't really got too much on the overall kind of main plot themes or story themes from season 1 yet. We didn't get too many answers. Definitely a complete side mission. I'd say the first episode was a side mission as well, but this has kind of gone further kind of that way, further out wide, and then kind of hopefully we'll come back around for the third episode. So first initial reactions online and stuff, and even for myself a little bit. So I did feel like the overall experience was a little bit of a filler episode. I did get a filler vibe to it. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, Sol, about what you think of it being kind of. First of all, what do you think of the overall episode, and what do you think of it being a filler?
I think the biggest problem with this episode is that it followed such an amazing episode last week. And so it kind of had that like Godfather 3 or that Spider-Man 3 kind of thing where you have a good movie, or in this case, a good show, a good episode, but it just followed what could be argued as one of the best episodes, if not the best episodes of The Mandalorian. And so with that, I kind of had to step back and be like, okay, lower your expectations a little bit because it all can't be like episode 1 of this season. And I think Peyton Reed, because he was directed this episode, he ended up doing what he set out to do, which was kind of making you feel a little uncomfortable. And that was what you're supposed to feel kind of during this episode, because I felt super uncomfortable with those spiders. Like I was like, oh, just go away, just go away. And or with Baby Yoda eating those like little baby frog things of that lady. It was supposed to like have you have those feelings. So it was like, okay, the intended feelings that you're supposed to have is what I'm having. So in that way, I think it's a successful episode because of that.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely. So,
okay. This is where I'm like mad, because it just could have been Ilum, but it's not Ilum, and I get that it's not Ilum. I understand they had to do the whole thing where they couldn't go into hyperspace because of the eggs. So I get that, and that's like a little break, a little weight we got to put on them that they can't shake off this episode. Yeah, I was sufficiently freaked out at 8:30 in the morning when I watched this. I felt a little uncomfortable.
Oh, nice.
It's just
it used to make sorry to interrupt, Colin,
No,
but
you're good.
my mug, it used to make, there's the speaker, it fell out. It used to have Darth Vader quotes like, oh, like it used to, do stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, that wouldn't be annoying in the middle of the show.
Yeah, well, not anymore, but yeah.
I just thought this episode was like pretty good. And I also thought it was like the first part of a Doctor Who episode where the second part's going to give us more, because we're going to find out more. Like he still has that lady and her eggs. Like it's not like that story's not done yet. So it's not total filler. I think it feels like filler now, but it might not feel like filler next week when you get the second parts of the story and you see that they are kind of they're going to break away from last season, and it's not going to be self-contained one episode stories. It's going to be a little more stretched out. And I mean, that kind of has been, because before he was just trying to save the child. Right now he's on a mission, and the mission seems to be going the right direction. He's already got more Mandalorian armor than he had at the beginning of the season. So I'm really looking forward to who we're going to find on this planet. I'm really looking forward to is this just where we walk into Bo-Katan? Is this where we walk into Sabine? Bogz, I guess I don't disagree with you in the moment, but I'll probably disagree with you next week about the filler, because yeah, like Sol said, this is like following one of the best episodes ever, right? Like it's unreal. There's the crate dragon, everything that the visual effects step up from season 1 to this. It's on a whole other level, and
they got that money.
They got the money. They got that money. Like, come on, they got that money. ESPN Plus has 8.5 million subscribers. Like, come on, like they're making, like, Disney's got all the money in the world, and they just laid off like 300 people. So they got even more money. But let's see. So what were your overall thoughts about season 1? I mean, so were you was like, I mean, I kind of thought the middle of the season kind of drags and then kind of picks up a little bit, but what were your overall thoughts?
I loved season 1. I would, like most other people, episode 5 was kind of the episode. The hey Mando. It was very much people were like, oh, whatever with that episode. I very much like enjoyed the episodes that had Taika Waititi on it, because he's one of my favorite directors right now. So just like hearing his voice, because he always plays a character in all of his movies that he's in. So it's a very like recognizable thing, and it's like, oh, my favorite guy's up there. So yeah, the last 2 episodes of season 1 were my favorite, and I'm sad that he ended up passing away in whatever way a droid passes away. But I hope to have his like voice maybe come in later for other droids. So I'm looking forward to this season, and I had so much high hopes for this season, and it delivered last week. And like you said, it would be really weird if next episode we forget about that frog lady and her like quote unquote kids. So I see that
we dropped off a lady, and she's like already like
Yeah.
25 minutes like after he's dropped off, like he's like collecting his Mon calamari fish squid rings, and it's like I'm interested to see how this season, like I thought we were a little bit of misinformation from Lucasfilm. I was under the impression that Favreau was directing all these episodes, but it seems like he's writing all of these episodes, and that's kept stuff really tight. And I
And we've
appreciate
heard
that about
some
most shows.
Marvel directors and some other directors. So like this was Peyton Reed. I think some other Marvel directors are actually like jumping in and directing a few episodes this season. So it's just interesting to see, like, you've seen what they've done with the MCU with the full movie. What are they going to do with an episode of Star Wars?
I love Peyton Reed too. And I honestly, if not to cut away from Star Wars for a second, but this is Peyton Reed's shot to be like, you guys want me to do that Fantastic Four movie or what?
Oh, I
Like,
want him to do it.
I've been
so
sitting
bad.
on this Fantastic Four movie for like 6 years. Like, I just like, let me make it in the 60s. I'll send them to the future and they'll meet y'all in 2025. I swear. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just let me do it. I'll make it work.
He wants to do it so bad, and we want him to do it so bad. So it's like, come on, just give us what we want.
But it's nice to know that he's still in Disney's mind.
Mhm.
Like he's
Right.
still around. And that's important. I think it has a lot to do with, I mean, the synergy has been fantastic, I think, between the two organizations. They've been killing it, especially with the comics. The comics is the thing that I think goes really understated with the relationship between Star Wars and Disney and Marvel and Disney, is that Star Wars people just bypass the Disney people completely and go right to the Marvel people. And they've been learning from one another.
Yeah.
And I think something that you're seeing in Marvel comics, and Bogz, I'll throw it to you because you love the Star Wars comics just as much as I do. The comics are a testing ground. That's always been Marvel's thing, whether it's been Marvel's cartoons or whatever. There's
I see
always
that with the High Republic now. They're doing
exactly.
those comics, and those are going to be movies. We all know it.
Exactly. So, Bogz, you're thinking that these comics are possibly laying the groundwork for stuff we might see later on. I mean, that has to be a good thing, and we're starting to see some of that come in. I mean, we all have all these different ideas about these planets, and we're let down when it's not, but at least we have these ideas.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had too much of it though. Like, I mean, we were promised it when kind of Disney took over. It's not really come to fruition. I mean, I
Star
absolutely
Wars
would
Rebels
love it
would
too.
very much like to argue different.
So yeah, but I'm talking about comic books coming to life in terms of live action or in the movies. I haven't really seen that. I mean, some things like, yeah, in Rebels, or even, I mean, the biggest kind of thing that's come from a book form or a medium, or that medium, is, I think, Cobb Vanth, like something that has directly
Season 7 of Clone Wars is basically the Ahsoka novel.
Okay, but
didn't
didn't they change
They
the way?
did. So I guess that's like the argument of like,
That's like the biggest thing that was in the book.
And they changed a few things with Cobb Vanth from the Aftermath. Like, they were very minor.
Freetown. It's very minor stuff, but it's just
Yeah.
like you don't get the sense that there was like,
It still had the feeling of it. And I feel that gave me hope for like this show, and also future shows and future movies, is that they took someone that was introduced in the books. So I can see them like maybe down the road, whether like this season or later seasons, like bringing in Dr. Aphra. That would be really cool.
Absolutely. Yep. So legend characters, all sorts. So yeah, just coming back to
Thrawn. He was the first one. Thrawn was really the first one.
Ray Sloan is of course in Squadrons as well now.
Right.
But they brought in the Krayt Dragon, kind of like, I know that we see that the bones of the Krayt Dragon in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
But it's really more talked about in Legends. and so that
Well,
was
you
the
hear
thing
it.
that
You hear it
yeah
in obviously A New Hope. Where Obi-Wan actually mimics the noise, right?
yeah
So
I
yeah,
thought I
that
had
was
one on
great.
Boggs this week, and then Boggs was like, "Nah, I
I've
already
got
knew
one.
that."
I've got a few for this episode, which I'll come to later, which were good Easter eggs and stuff. So yeah, so on this going back to this episode, my actually favorite parts of the episode was the stuff on Tatooine. So like you saying, Sol, in the first season, that was probably my least favorite episode because it didn't seem too relevant to the overall story being on Tatooine. But this is now all coming back in season 2. So when they initially try and kind of capture the child and he falls off the bike, I was like, oh my god, you've heard the child. So I thought it was Boba Fett's crew first. So that was interesting, seeing the kind of remote control jetpack and hearing that alien language and things like that. So that was all kind of super interesting. And then they go back to the kind of Razor Crest, and then they're frying the meat and everything with the other droids. And well, before that, they've gone to the bar, the Mos Eisley Cantina, and having kind of the ant creature there. That was my first point in the movie. I thought,
they were
who's
playing
directing this?
sabacc, right?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
No, at that point,
Why
I
would
was
you play
thinking, who's
Sabacc with 2
directing this?
people? Sorry.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, and I thought, who's directing this? Because like that's such like for me that ant just stood out. Like it was so clear. Yeah, and obviously as soon as the kind of credits come off, oh my god, like how did I not know that? But yeah, that was a cool scene. And then when they obviously go back to the Razor Crest and they're about to leave, and she's getting the advice to take, the Mandalorian's getting the advice to take this creature, to meet her husband with the spawn and things like that, and just seeing everything on screen, I felt like, oh, there's things in the foreground, things in the background. You saw is it R5 again? Come up again. It seemed like just like a pinball of Easter eggs and things looking around and like super exciting. It was just happening really quick, and obviously the droids like helping the meat. I'm sure some of them, the droid that was kind of frying the meat, I'm pretty sure they're in like the prequels, like the Phantom Menace or whatever, in the pod racing stuff. So yeah, I really enjoyed that stuff, being back on Tatooine and then leaving. I hope they come back, but
Hey,
yeah,
cook
that was
meat though, and you better cook it medium rare. You
Yeah,
better
exactly.
cook that medium rare.
How do you guys feel about Amy Sedaris? Because in season 1, I thought she was a little annoying, and then episode 1, I was like, okay, I like her now, because and then like this episode, I was like, she's whatever. So I don't know how to feel about her
Din
yet.
plays off her pretty well. I think
Yeah.
it's all dependent on like their relationship, and then also it's just nice to see somebody like be a mom to the child sometimes, even though he's very just asexually parental. Like he
Yeah.
is a father and a mother at the same time. Like he's like, oh, let me go sleep right next to her. We're like, oh, curl up.
Baby Yoda curling up to him in
Oh,
this
I'm done.
episode.
I'm just dying. And then when he gets in the bed underneath him hanging, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you guys just playing around now.
Dad of the year.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, I actually don't mind her, to be honest. I mean, I didn't mind her from the start. Like I thought she's because I didn't know who she was when I first saw her. So I've learned that afterwards. I've learned afterwards who she was and what she's done and stuff. So for me, it was just a random kind of character in Star Wars. But yeah, like it feels like kind of the Mandalorian is someone there for him in Tatooine who he can trust. Because there isn't many people, right, who kind of he can trust. So that's just someone safe that he can leave the Razor Crest with, or leave the baby or leave the child with. And then obviously they set off, and then that's where we first see the kind of child be fascinated with the spawn, and then starting to eat them kind of one by one. And then basically, as they're traveling through, we've established they can't go to light speed, to travel, because that damages the spawns and stuff. And then obviously we see these X-Wing pilots, the Republic, kind of coming to police the galaxy. And this, I mean, the most fascinating part of this scene. Well, first of all, when I heard can we go to kind of the second channel? I thought,
I was like,
that sounds
oh,
weird.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Run!
I was weird. So I actually rewound it. I was thinking, who is that? And then I was like, oh, it's Dave Filoni again. And then when the Mandalorian is talking to the other guy, I forgot his name, and he says, "Oh, may the force be with you," like as like a greeting.
Also with you, baby. Peace.
Yeah. But that made like me think a bit deeper about it, because he said that as obviously it's like a greeting that people of the New Republic say, but really like
But he
that
doesn't
the
know
actual
about the Jedi.
yes, that's right, he doesn't know what that is. He doesn't know about the force, because clearly the child has used the force on a few occasions. He hasn't called it, he's not told people they're a force user, or he's seen him force heal. He's not acknowledged that that's the Force or anything like that. So it seems like he hasn't put two and two together there. So I found that super interesting. That it become like a almost normal greeting to say to the people of the kind of Republic now.
I got a 7-foot Twi'lek that'll put 2 and 2 together for him in about 3 weeks. So I think that'll all be good. I mean, yeah, I guess the down stuff about this episode is just that you really just get a task. It's a part A and B, and we just need C, I feel like. So I can understand how it just feels a little empty. But I think the other stuff to mention is that these guys know who he is. The New Republic is aware of him. It seems like, because if Dave Filoni, I think I saw his name too. I think it's like Toph. It's like Taff.
Yeah, they both got names.
Yeah. It just gets really tiny when they get to their names in the credits. It's all nice, pretty stuff, but then it gets to the like guest stuff.
Here's their name this big, and then like here's their like
starring really tiny names. But it just seems like they trust him. Because he's there. I mean, obviously they gave Matt Lanter's character a name there, right? That was Matt Lanter's character that they dropped.
Yes.
And they're saying, look, you saved this dude's life. Like he told us that you saved his life as opposed to the other people that you left there. And it's just really nice to kind of see him in the bigger scheme of things, because we are so small scope with this story that sometimes it is nice, even though some people are like, we need to just talk about the minute character, the minor characters of Star Wars and make them feel like major characters. We need to feel like he's a major character in the whole universe, because he is. I mean, my prediction for him is that he's going to lead Mandalore. He's going to lead his people back to Mandalore, probably because he can't even go there. He doesn't even know, like, are there charts to Mandalore right now? He doesn't know. Like, he might not have, like, the Empire might have scrubbed it. You might not want to go back there.
It might be like Mos Pelgo, which that wasn't on the map when Amy Sedaris showed the map of Tatooine. It was just like, well, it's here. It doesn't say it, but it's right here.
Missing, you say?
Yes, Master. Somebody wiped it from the Jedi archives.
The mind of a child.
Not bad. And
that was pretty good right there. That was pretty good.
I've told you I've seen Attack of the Clones 11 times in theaters.
Nice.
In theaters.
Yeah, exactly. Flying through the obviously that the ice planet and trying to find the.
They said the atmosphere was gonna rip him up, so I was ready for like some interstellar shit, and the cloud was gonna like break off, and he was gonna like hit into it or something. And I was like, I don't know.
And then when they dropped the targeting computer, I was like, "Oh, come on, we're gonna get."
And it was just a trench run. You were just running a trench run.
Exactly. Yeah. I was like, "Oh, come on, guys." That was a bit too.
I was like, you think I'm not gonna shoot a trench run?
Exactly. That was super
and I know
fun.
that we were all a little disappointed that it wasn't Ilum, because do we know where Ilum is?
Yes,
in the
Ilum
galaxy?
is in the unknown regions. It is out there. That's
all right. That's why, like, he would need the hyperspace.
Okay, so to clear up a little geography here, I am on Wikipedia, and you go to the episode, chapter 10, The Passenger. They call this lady Frog Lady, and we are taking her to the estuary moon of Trask, which has no prior mentions at all. And then you click on... it says it's located in the same star system as the gas giant Kol Iban. Also only mentioned ever in this episode, no prior mentions at all. So this is not connected to anything we've ever seen in the Star Wars universe. So that's always interesting to me. I'm never truly disappointed, but it would be cool. Our Ilum connection is that it's freaking Starkiller base. That's the Ilum connection. We ran around that thing for 15 hours in that video game, back and forth, getting lost all over the dang place, getting hit by those boom, boom, boom. What were those things? The boom, whatever they were, like power drivers, and you had to jump through them and stuff, and then you had to like force pause them and stuff. That stuff.
And then when you get stuck and you're just like, what do I do?
And then you just die because it like sucks you in. Yeah. That was real depressing. I watched him die so many times in that game. But yeah, you just know it's Starkiller. So, I mean, it is a bit of a letdown. But other than that, it was still a cool planet. It was interesting. Like them falling was sick, and then this just
Mm.
essentially turned into the middle act of Empire Strikes Back.
And
Yeah,
I think
well,
what's
oh,
great
sorry, go ahead.
about what I think is great about Star Wars too is that it can have these contained small stories and at the same time be super large and grow. And so yeah, we have new planets now that we never knew about. That just grew the Star Wars lore even bigger, even though this felt like a contained story when you're watching it. So Star Wars just does that so well.
Yeah, definitely. When I say filler, I don't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. I just mean that they haven't. We don't have the continuation of the main plot points from the first season or from the story overall. It's just like a side mission, which people have often accused Rebels of having too many filler episodes. but
Rebels,
They were some of my favorite ones. Well, not my absolute favorites, but like the
Clone
middle
Wars.
kind of bracket.
Clone
Clone
yeah,
Wars had way
exactly.
more.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't mind these because you have more time with the character, or the side characters, or learn about their stories, that kind of thing. So yeah, it was for me. It was definitely a filler episode, but I did like it. It's not like I didn't like it at all. So and yeah, obviously, like you said, they crash in the snow, and we see just Baby Yoda
Dude, him
Baby
skirting
Yoda
on the
eating.
ice was literally Han Solo in the Force Awakens when they jump to Ilum
Yeah,
and end up just skirting on the ice. That always looks so cool
yeah.
because it's like, what are you gonna do? Whip out your freaking parking brake? No, you're not. I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna find out what happens, and I'm on this ride, and it's
Mhm.
just, and then they fall through. And I did do a little research, Bonk. These are not the Krykna that attack Kanan
Yes,
and Ezra.
that was going to be my secret.
They are
spoiler theory.
not,
Yes.
because these seem to only be these have what seem to be any Harry Potter fans out there, these seem to have pincers, and the ones that we saw in this episode do not. So the Rebels ones are more like actual spiders, and then these
Yes.
are like
The different. So
like
these
worm mouth things that I was like, get that away
I know.
from me.
Was
Again,
definitely
like,
getting Harry Potter vibes when
yeah,
watching
doing
it.
great with the graphics there. So
Why
this
is it falling on
spider,
the spiders?
this spider is a Ralph McQuarrie concept art from the Empire Strikes Back. So if you search whatever Dagobah with Luke, he's wearing an orange jumpsuit. He, the pilot, the X-wing pilot jumpsuit. When he crash lands, there's a concept art of this exact this exact spider. He's laying the eggs, with the mouth. And then that's when they've obviously crashed and they've come out of the Razor Crest, and that's how they're the kind of weird shaped eggs. And Baby Yoda eats one, of course, which he eats anything in this episode, right?
I mean, we saw him eat a frog last season too. So it's when people were getting upset with Baby Yoda over eating that lady's children, it was pretty much just like,
there we go.
he eats things. That's what he does.
Exactly.
There's your spider right there, literally planting the
Laying
eggs.
the eggs, yeah.
Unbelievable stuff.
Yeah,
Look at
because initially
Bogz.
I thought it was the
This is
Rebels
some-
one.
This is some
But-
tight ass journalism right here.
Yeah.
This is the type of stuff we look for here. We have the high ground.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're not playing around here. Yeah. So obviously, quoting Ralph McQuarrie stuff again. That's absolute must do.
Darn. We don't have
yeah.
enough. Just got this.
It's endless.
Stuff.
It's endless. Yeah. I mean, the amount of stuff he has from the 3 movies as well, and like it's great callback and stuff. So absolutely love
I
that.
feel like
Thanks
we're
for
gonna see
that.
more of his stuff because they're gonna pull from what they have. They're bringing it away from Star
In the
Wars for a
archives,
second, but like when Taika Waititi did What We Do in the Shadows, he basically asked the Lord of the Rings people in New Zealand, was just like any thrown out anything you didn't use, give it to me. So
Why-
I feel like they're gonna do
why
that with
not?
Mandalorian. Yeah,
Because these people, and that's one thing I don't think a lot of people understand about the people who actually make this stuff. I'm not just saying this because I'm one of those people. These people care about what they're doing,
Mhm.
and it is so obvious. Like, my dad's gonna watch this episode of The Mandalorian tonight. He's going, "Who's this fat guy in this X-wing, and why is he in this? Why isn't Colin in this, or what? Who is this guy?" And I'll be like, "Well, actually, Dad, that guy's Santa, the foot of the master, and he learned from the Force creator about the Force. So
He's the Padawan. Yeah.
he is, yeah. I mean, yeah, and it's just hard to get that across, but that's the little stuff that I love about this, like I literally leapt out of my chair when I saw Matt Lanter in season 1. Which I'm sorry, if anything hadn't have already done that in the episode, you had seen 2 of the best Twi'lek I had ever seen done.
Natalia Tena as the Twi'lek.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And then the robots, the Bill Burr's, and then you throw Matt
Clancy
Lanter, and
Brown.
that's what I love about this movie, like that episode. That's my favorite thing about the episode is that they put Anakin freaking Skywalker in the show. It's just little stuff like that. Like, who's to say that Ashley Eckstein might not show up as Ahsoka, but she could show up somewhere else as something else. Like the world's open for this. Like that's what I love about
Do you
this.
guys think that Dave Filoni is going to be like the Stan Lee of each season, where he does a little character here and there? Because he was in the first, he was in this season, he's
no,
in the second.
I need him in season 3 to be like at a round table. Like we gotta like hang out with the New Republic for a minute. Like he's got to come on for a job. Like a not grief cargo, like a Forrest Whitaker. Saw Gerrera, like a Saw Gerrera type thing where they work with him one time in Rebels and they're like, maybe not again. You're a little too hardcore. But I could see that working. And then Dave Filoni walks up. He's like, "Hey, I remember you." And you're like,
Speaking of something else, like Saw Gerrera started as a cartoon character and then ended up in that movie. So they're taking some stuff. It's slowly but surely. But I feel like with Mandalorian, they're going to start taking even more things.
All they have is time. All they have is time and space because they set themselves up perfectly. I mean, this is 20 years, like 28 years before, of The Force Awakens. So we're like I'm pretty sure Ben Solo isn't born yet. I'm pretty sure they've.
If he is born, he's a baby.
I think he is. Yeah, he's like
a little
4
baby.
or 6 or something.
Right. No, yeah. But like he's kind of. We got time. There's time.
The other thing,
but that is a criticism. That was one of the criticisms of this episode, that we only have 8 episodes, right? And we haven't.
They're making so many questions 3 right now. I don't care. I don't care. No other show is in production. Longer. This show takes 25 people to make, and it's spectacular. 25 people show up to work every day to make this show, and they're making it like they made this in the dead of night. Like they made this last season under our noses while we were watching the first season. They were literally holding the candy in front of us while they were making more candy in the background, and they're making more candy right now. They're making season 3. They're probably making season 4 right now.
And with the biggest criticism of the first season, the biggest criticism of the first season was that it was the episodes were short. People were like,
"Oh, these episodes are long."
And now that we so far have had
40 minutes,
2 long episodes. It was like the first episode was like 55 minutes, and this one's like over 40 something. So I think that we're gonna get a lot of cool things, and we'll probably have run times that equal longer than the first season by the end of the season.
2-hour extension from the first season into this season, and I think that's only going to get bigger, throughout the at least even it out somewhere between that 45 to 55 is solid. You give me anything in there, I'm good to go. I guess not really like the negative stuff. So let's just talk about the baby, because I feel like the baby deserves like 5 solid minutes. 1, that baby can book it if he needs to. 2, stop eating everything. Or 3, feed this kid a meal once in a while. Why don't you sit him down? Why don't you maybe get him a bento box and fill it with crate dragon meat? Like, this isn't hard. Like, you know he's gonna eat everything. He literally has been eating everything since you met him. He tried to eat your stuff, like your metal, your equipment. And you see that these eggs you showed him how to open it.
Yeah.
But Baby Yoda's still teething. He just needs things in his.
Oh, and then he whipped one out at the end of the episode. He pulled one out at the end.
That was so funny.
He's like, "Oh, Dad's asleep." Bet.
That's what I was gonna say. So I think this is like an old Western thing where the kind of gunslinger kind of sits in a rocking chair, puts his hat down, and kind of goes to sleep when he wakes up, and like the whole town's kind of shooting each other. That kind of thing of craziness going on. So because he falls asleep 3 times, I did notice. So he goes to
tired.
yeah, so he goes to sleep underneath a hammock, and then
I mean,
he
he did just
falls
destroy a
asleep
crate
when,
dragon. He's probably real tired.
he's had a busy day. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was the one in 24
Yeah,
hours.
this isn't like apparently
yeah.
he's tired like the people in The Last Jedi should be. Like the people in The Last Jedi are not visibly exhausted as they should be, having just defeated Star Killer Base.
Yeah. Exactly.
Meanwhile, this dude is like, "Do you see this crate dragon goo shit on my face? I can't even clean this.
Yeah.
I don't
And
even
not
know
only
where
that-
the armorer is."
Not only that, he had to walk back to Mos Eisley because his thing was so
In the
he killed a
desert.
crate dragon and then walked with all of that armor in the heat
And
of
the meat.
Tatooine and the meat and Baby Yoda and everything. So yeah, this
Yeah.
man's tired. He's like, I
Yeah.
need a nap.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, just at the obviously we didn't kind of totally cover the end of the episode. Obviously, Dave Filoni's coming back. So yeah, like what do we think is going to happen next episode? So just to not to criticize the episode, but just to finish, I kind of brought it up before, but just to kind of further confirm what I'm saying is that we didn't get, so there are so many questions leading into this season. We didn't get the answers in the first episode. We got a kind of great side mission, which okay, we did slightly where he's obviously being told that there is a Mandalorian on Tatooine. Obviously, he's not. It's it's Boba Fett. It's Cobb Vanth. He's got the armor. He's gone off. This is kind of a further extension of that. But there are still the questions about Moff Gideon, the Darksaber, Ahsoka, Sabine. People are worried. Maybe sometimes, like potentially, there's not enough episodes to tell the rest of that story. Obviously, I'm not worried about that. But I was kind of thinking a couple of thoughts that come to my head this episode that, oh, did we really need to spend so long on this side mission? But overall, like I said, I did enjoy it. But on to the next episode. I really hope some of these, like we need to get some answers in regards to the plot, the main plot themes. Like he needs to find some of the Mandalorians. He needs to find some. He's been told to find the Jedi. We've got no tail on the Jedi. That kind of thing. I would like to see that next episode. Some kind of main kind of thing to chase, or some kind of plot, device where to go exactly to come back around to the main story.
That we might see like Bo-Katan or Sabine in the next episode. Because apparently
something to help him
Yeah.
because I don't want to see another side mission. Do you know what I mean? Whilst
Yeah.
he's trying to find Mandalorians, I don't want to
Quote
see
the
that
great
again.
Dr. Evil. Hey, throw me a freaking bone here. Like this dude's just out here. Like I am out here with this child in the middle of
You
the
can't use
galaxy.
hyperspace. Like
I can't use hyperspace. I got these spider
got a ship
webs are
anymore.
all up in
Yeah.
my
my ship is destroyed.
My ship
Yeah,
is
exactly.
literally destroyed.
True.
There is literally a
I-
hole in my hull. I had to pressurize just the main cabin, so all my stuff's gone, I guess. Like all his stuff's gonna be flying out of his ship. Like, doesn't make any sense.
Mhm.
He needs, like, I think we have to, like, seasons do this, right? Season 2s usually do this. They take you up very quickly and then they drop you down to a low
Mhm.
point and they make you grind your way back up. I think the grind, like you said, we only have 5, 7 or 6 more episodes left. Right. So you got a 6 episode like way to go up. And I think the midpoint of this season is going to be the conversation with all the ladies, with Bo-Katan, with Ahsoka, with Sabine, and he's gonna get his Neo, this world's a whole lot bigger than you think it is, brain download. And
did they say who
Yeah.
Sasha Banks is playing yet? Because I know there's rumors
They
that she
haven't.
could be Sabine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
And
rumor.
so,
but
I
haven't
mean, if
confirmed
they
it.
go to that water planet that they showed in the trailer, and then she's there,
oh, you mean like
I-
the water planet that this lady needs to lay her
Right?
eggs in?
right? And
I'm sure in the
thing
trailer, all the aliens are like fish species or like some
Mhm.
some
Oh,
kind
some
of
Mon Calamari, probably some of the what were the
You would
ones
think so.
from the other underwater ones? Like was that Plo Koon's species?
I don't know the name. of the
I don't know
species.
the
The
name.
ones with like they look like they got the snorkel mask
Yeah,
on their
yeah,
face. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like the Bane mask, like those are cool. I'm
Mhm.
up for all like the water stuff's dope. Like, I've
Mm.
always loved water stuff, like in Star Wars. It's always been like even like you just see like some like flying manta ray stuff. Like it's like Star Wars just gets out there with the water planets.
Yeah.
Get these ice planets out of here. We got enough ice planets. Whatever.
And
But
I
I'm-
would love to see Din Djarin with Sabine because Sabine was born in Mandalore. She is a Mandalorian, but she takes off her helmet and she also has a painted Mandalorian armor. So I really want to know how he would feel about not only does she take off her helmet, but she also like graffitied her armor. So I could see Din just being like, "Wait, what?"
Well, in a sense,
Yeah.
everybody colors their armor. He just hasn't met the painter.
Yeah,
The painterer.
True.
Yeah.
Um,
Banksy.
I think it's going to be Sasha Banks. I don't want it to be Sasha Banks. I should like Sabine is my second favorite character from Rebels, and she's just so unique. And
Is Hera your first?
no, it's Kanan. Kanan's the
Oh,
most
okay.
important character in all of Star
Oh,
Wars.
true. You said that before.
Kanan.
I think
Kanan's
it's Kanan and Hera for me of Rebels.
yeah. You can't. I mean, Hera is definitely there. Ezra
Mm.
can.
Yeah.
Ezra. Oh, God, the kid makes me so mad.
If he ever plays live action, he needs to be a Latino because he looks like a
Well,
Latino in
it's
the
this
show.
one guy,
He's-
right? Who's the one guy that keeps like
I
tweeting
think
all the
he's
stuff?
he's Indian. He's
That
British.
guy's Indian. He can play him
Rahul
too.
Kohli.
That
He,
works
he could
too.
be, yeah,
the
he
guy
needs
in
to be
Blind Manor.
Indian, Middle Eastern, or Latino. That's he
Yeah,
needs
yeah,
to
of
be.
course.
He needs to be a
And
man of
Sabine
color.
as well.
What's that guy's name?
Rahul Kohli or something.
Yeah, yep,
Yeah.
Rahul.
So he looks like. Yeah, have you ever seen the fan art of like?
Oh, he's the
Ezra when
dude
he's,
from
like,
he's
older?
the dude from iZombie. So
Oh, I've not
okay,
seen
okay.
that.
the
Yeah, I'm
guy,
not-
the guy that works in the morgue.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
He doesn't look
you
like
can
him
play Ezra.
regularly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Bogz.
I've seen longer
35-year-old
hair
Ezra.
and,
Come
like,
on,
a longer
bud.
beard.
Let's
Yeah,
grow it
yeah.
out. Let's get comb that hair out. I know it's
Yeah, I'll
thick
take
and
that.
under there. Let's go.
I'll take that.
You're in lockdown now. Your hair needs to grow. Your hair's gonna grow out
I
anyways.
can't get a haircut. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So
Wait,
I
well, you
might-
do actually right now. You kind of got like the season 3. Ezra's been spending time with the Sith holocron haircut, actually.
Yeah.
So just saying.
Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Me and Maul. You know.
So
no
I
good.
guess we'll wrap up this episode and then we'll get into more prediction stuff. I mean, there was only one way he was getting out of that. There was no way he was getting out of the spider stuff unless they came back around, because obviously they were going to leave.
He was
I
in
think.
trouble, you know, before they kind of came. I was like, how is he going to get out? Yeah, on
Didn't
top
have
of
a dark
the
saber.
child, and yeah, exactly. So good job they came.
Yoda's
Dave
not
Filoni
using
saved him.
yeah, Child's not using the Force either.
And like, were
Yeah.
you guys ever like with me the whole time? I'm like, Baby Yoda, are you okay? The whole time I was like, Baby Yoda.
Yeah, because they were
Baby
like
Yoda
on
took the
him
most
and
L's.
like yeah. So
He took
yeah, I
the
was a bit
most
worried
L's
for him.
out of any episode so far. I mean, I haven't seen the child just like. I mean, he went full.
Yeah.
And then he ate the spider, and then he went back in to find like the juices and everything. He was gonna like dump it out, like
He was
he
like
gets
in
end
the
of a-
yolk or something.
like the end of a bag of chips, and you just like trying to take the whole bag at the end. Just no survivors. He's like, I'm eating all these things. You ain't let me have one of these eggs. How about one of these eggs? And then it was over. I mean, that scene of the spiders coming over, that was awesome. I mean, that was just so cool to see. It was scary, but it
Imagine,
was
I saw
cool.
that at 3 a.m, so I was tired and scared at the same
And you would,
time.
oh man,
Straight out of Aliens,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Lord of the Rings kind of scene. So
it looked just like
yeah,
Lord of the
yeah.
Rings. It was better. It was like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter like put together. Just
Mhm.
kind of had this like Shelob and Aragog vibe that was just like, oh, this is tough. And it was real dark too. It was real, but you had to put him in some form of peril. But I think that's what we're gonna see in the next episode. Is like obviously he's okay. So then here comes the predictions. The ship he's gonna get led to that port
Mhm.
by her husband. He's gonna say, "Look, I see these people here all the time. They look like you. Maybe not all the time, but there's rumors of people who look like you that come through here, and you can tell that these people know who Mandalorians are because she kind of calls them out. We didn't mention this.
Yeah.
Frog Lady kind of comes in and calls out our man Din when she's like, "Oh, aren't Mandalorians supposed to keep their word? Isn't that one of the like creeds of the Mandalorian code?" And he's
And
like,
another thing we didn't talk about is that that droid coming back, because when you see that in the
"Oh, that was so
preview,
unique."
I was like, what's gonna happen with this droid?
That was such a Game of Thronesy freaking
Yeah.
preview where Game of Thrones brings something back from like 6 episodes ago in the thing. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, well, I guess they're gonna be in this episode. Like, oh,
Yeah.
thanks. But yeah, that was super unique. Bogz, what do you think? Like one, she's smart enough to hotwire that droid, and then 2,
And she took
obviously,
away
obviously it's
the
up on obviously it's up on Mandalorian culture.
Yeah, so yeah, I was more kind of impressed with how she's able to kind of hot rod the the. So I'm pretty sure that as well, and I do need to double check, but the voice of that droid is familiar. I forgot his name, but he does
Q9.
he does the lifestyle and the rich and famous stuff. I think it's a US series, but yeah, he's quite a well-known British kind of commentator, so I did instantly recognize him. But yeah, I forgot
and
his name.
going
But
back
yeah.
when she hotwires that droid as well, like she even says like, "Oh, I took away like its function to like kill," kind of. So she not only hotwired it
Richard
to speak
Iota?
for her,
Yeah, I believe that's him. Yeah.
Yep.
but she was just like, "Oh, I also made sure that it's not going to harm us either." So she kind of did from season 1 where
Meanwhile, the child's
IG-11.
eating her eggs, like
Yeah.
eating her spawn. Like, oh my god, like, what are you doing?
So that basically became IG-11 for like half a second.
Yeah,
For this
exactly.
season.
But yeah, next episode, like you're saying, yes,
Hmm.
he's quite a well-known comedian. Yeah, he's
The show bringing in comedians.
Yeah, it's from the IT crowd. If you ever heard of that, but yeah,
have you ever heard of? What are you, a nerd? Yes.
I don't know if it's in the
yes,
UK.
bro. It was like
I've
wasn't
seen
that
it,
like
yeah.
I feel like that was like the 5th show on Netflix. I feel like IT
Oh.
Crowd was one of like the 5th ones on like Netflix streaming, and I was just like, oh yeah, let me just watch all of this. And Dexter, I think Dexter was on it.
Oh, nice. But yeah, next episode. I mean, maybe from when they went on that kind of I don't know, the bay, the marina type thing. But my thought in the trailer is that when they're kind of crossing a kind of river, they're not with that frog creature, or unless she's been
So they tell them to
CGI'd
go.
out, or
like
yeah,
this is,
or
like,
unless
this is
her husband tells her, yeah, you're right, maybe from there. But from that point, like, yeah, we don't know where they're going. Obviously, we're still waiting on Grief Karga and Cara Dune, so we don't know where they're coming in.
Keep them away. Honestly, could you guys like Rogue One, TIE Fighter them out of this thing? Like just Cara Dune, just get out of here. I mean,
Grief Karga can come.
Grief Karga is fine. He's
fine.
directing
an episode as well.
Cara, stay away, bro. Stay away. We don't.
No, I told you I love. I want to see a fight.
She's like a racist scumbag. She hates your skin. She hates the color of your skin. Do you like her now?
I need to check.
Okay.
I'm not caught up on that.
Okay.
But I do love the way
I didn't
she
hear
fights,
about
man.
that stuff. I knew that she was transphobic.
Yeah,
but
she like blocked RB3. She like blocked all these people that like even just had came up with any sort of thing and just went on a blocking spree. I hate people that do that. I hate people that do that. I can't stand it.
I need to check her Twitter then, but I'm sure I'll
Better
follow
check
her,
her Twitter, but don't let her know what you look like.
Okay. Hopefully watch show, like and subscribe and stuff. But yeah, like yeah, I do, I'm not gonna lie, I do think she's awesome physical action star. So like, I do kind of want to see her and the Mandalorian kind of fighting and stuff. So yeah, if I can be objective there, then that. But yeah, I mean, where the next episode is, no idea where it's gonna go, where it's gonna be. I mean, that's the excitement of this. Who's gonna come in, who's not gonna come in? Because even beforehand, there's gonna be so many Easter eggs, so many tie-ins. So it's super exciting every week. So I can't wait.
I think the best chance of Cara, and this is like all I'll do is like whatever. She's got to have some form of relationship with the New Republic. I think is going to be the biggest thing that we're going to see. She's going to have something to do. Like she's obviously got new armor on. Obviously, they made a new Funko Pop. You got to get new clothes every season. We know that, and got to change it up. But she's got that from somewhere. So I would expect maybe we don't know. We don't know a lot about the structure of the galaxy under the New Republic when it comes to like all of these governors who used to control certain territories of just the sectors of the galaxy. What happens to those positions? What does this fold into? They don't know what democracy is in Star Wars. Like you got to introduce the idea of democracy. Like if you're not, Tatooine doesn't really know. Tatooine doesn't have a representation in the Galactic Senate, right? They're unrepresented.
Tatooine has never known democracy.
Right. They don't know what that is. So it just comes to place like that. I would like to see her maybe like be a Cobb Vanth of their town, kind of maybe just take on like a sheriff type role, but some form of role, because I don't know what she's doing other than just being there because she's not going to be a bounty hunter, right? I
Hmm.
think that's obviously like she was just there as like muscle to clean up the imps because she hates the Imperials so much, and she was like, cool, I'll just help you guys. I'll gladly burn some Imperial bodies. That makes me happy. But I'm
Yeah.
kind of just indifferent on it. I just want her to be relevant, I guess.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't.
that's
You
true.
don't just want her to show up. There needs to be a reason that he goes back to see both of them, not just
Yeah.
oh look, I went back to see Grief Karga and my friend Kara's here.
Yeah, I'm assuming he's going to try and recruit them for the help. Plus, Cobb Vanth again. They're all going to team up, that kind of thing. But yeah, I do like even the I feel like we've got more sprinklings here of the kind of current state of the galaxy than we did in the whole sequels trilogy. Like already, like even just the small exchanges with the kind of X-Wing pilots and the Republic and the Empire and the kind of no one knows what's going on. You're in that
flashback in the
in-between
last
stage.
episode.
Yeah, exactly. I love all that stuff. So the more I know the kind of current status of the galaxy, the more kind of it helps build the kind of current status that we're in. So I do love all that.
And I know, like, for book readers and comic book readers, like, we know that it wasn't all dancing with Ewoks. Yeah, we didn't know it. We knew it wasn't all dancing with Ewoks for everyone.
No.
And so I loved that we got to see that in the flashback in the last episode. And I hope that we see a few more, like, flashbacks. I actually really enjoyed that. So I know sometimes people say that like, oh, that's cheap using flashbacks, but I loved it.
So what you want me to do? Go make a whole other show?
Yeah.
Like
that was one of the best parts of the episode, I thought. That flashback and seeing the Death Star explode, the second one. And I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, definitely. I hope they do that more moving forward. With Moff Gideon's character, I want to see his backstory and everything to do with the dark saber if they do flashbacks and that kind of stuff. So
might not even see him in person for 3 more episodes, and we would see him in a flashback of like, dude, Bo-Katan might like not have an arm.
Even like Boba Fett, like I want to know his backstory. What's he been doing?
We might not see Boba Fett until the finale too. Like that's very
even
possible.
At all, like until next season. Like who knows? Until he'd have to go back to Tatooine. That just seems like. I mean, that's my thing. Is like Bo-Katan might not look the same because she lost that. She lost the darksaber. It's not hers anymore. So somewhere in the discourse, there's a hell of a fight that we're gonna have to see, and that's probably my most anticipated moment of this entire season is finding out how he got that darksaber, because we got a lot of people that are gonna have to, deal with the repercussions of it, and we got to find out how in the world did this all go down. And
couldn't have been easy, right?
No, it could not have been easy.
Taking their thing, yeah, like no way.
No. Well, one of my big questions too is what happened to Ming-Na Wen's character.
Definitely, yeah.
So obviously now we're gonna have to think, was that not Cobb Vanth that showed up? Because definitely, I mean, he didn't seem to have any. He never left Freetown to go that far out. They seemed too close to Mos Eisley when all that was going down. Now Boba Fett, on the other hand, seems to be able to go wherever he wants and just kind of is like a nice little journeyman.
And it looked like he was in Tusken Raider outfit.
That's something that somebody said as well, is that he might have been one of the Tusken Raiders in the episode in disguise. So that's another thing, which we'd have to find that from the horse's mouth or from Dave Filoni. Next best.
It's fun to think about though, because they were like, oh, this Tusken Raider guy is sitting farther away from everyone. That's Boba Fett. And I was like, okay, let's calm down for a second.
Headcanon OTT, I think.
Well, I think we've covered everything.
Short episode. There's not massive amount. Like I said, it was a side adventure, right? So there wasn't kind of the most to break down. Obviously,
we didn't sit here and just splurge over the crate dragon for 35 minutes because it was like one of the dopest things I'd ever seen in Star Wars. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Cutest thing was Baby Yoda running. Every single time that child is in a single shot,
or eating,
I die.
Like that, or sleeping.
Oh my god! I just when the spiders are coming and you see him just booking through the ground of the ship, he just runs right across. Looks like a little running back. Like if you see a running back and you're sitting in like a really high up end of the stadium, it's just a little tiny thing running across the field.
Now what I need is Baby Yoda and the
just running all over the place. I'm just excited for this. This show set us up for, this is probably the lowest point these two have been in. So let's see how they pull themselves out of it. I mean, it took a loss this week. Let's see how they bounce back next week. And next week, you can find us right back here, where we will be breaking down episode 3 of season 2, and this will be dropping in the next hour or so. So it'll be about 3 o'clock Eastern when this episode drops on the PCU. But tonight, if you're watching this on Friday, you know what that means? It's a live episode of the Ultimate Schmodown Show, where Bogz, John Barr, and myself will be breaking down the Witching Power versus the Misfits play-in match and giving our glorious predictions for the team's tournament. This is our last chance to look smart again, Bogz, because after this, it's all out of our hands. It's out of our hands.
It's, straight to spectacular, and and we'll see. But yeah, join us live. What time is it live?
I was gonna ask you, do you want to do 8 o'clock or you want to do 7 o'clock?
7, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what kind of day you had. So all right, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific, midnight on the island of Britain.
Yes.
So
Midnight special.
for Soul, for Bogz, I'm Colin, and always remember, we have the high ground.
May the force be with you.
Always.